And welcome back. You, as you're kind of carving away, get this just this little sense in the back of your neck. This tallow-like burned fat smell again kind of catches your nose. And just this cold tremor just tickles a wave down your spine. And you hear kind of this shifting movement. And you kind of glance down the other side of the right of where you are. And you begin to see it, this too. Two of these armored bodies off to the side seem to kind of lean up in the direction of where Chetney's on top of this platform. And they both kind of look at each other.
Oh, no. No.
And as they both kind of lean up, they both glance back up to the top of this other stone piece. You see this shadowed figure that's kind of hunched very low. You can just barely make out these kind of intertwined hands with a very dark purplish skin. As their shoulders are slumped inward, you can see these faint little kind of golden orange coals for eyes against a shadowed face you can't make out, and these horns that curve up above about 2.5 feet above the head. And it's just watching him.
I don't like the feeling, so I'll just do a look since it didn't feel too great.
As you kind of stand up and look back, you see Orm's expression kind of looking past you.
What?
You turn around, and at the top of the hill, you see this being kind of sitting there. And as you make eyes with its small, gleaming nightmare points,
I just keep going, looking around. I don't see
You have the bush and so.
So as Chetney makes these slow steps away, you watch as the creature stands up tall, and as it does so, you can see this dark red, almost like a skirt that drags onto the ground below it. It puts its hands up this way and kind of almost plucks its fingers through the air, and those two armored bodies step up, and this low dark mist begins to just fill the space above where the bog nearby is. The two kind of paper-skinned figures that rise up from it turn around in the direction of Chet and just go into a full, floppy sprint.
I don't like it!
And one of them is now just holding you there going,
I'll cast Compulsion on both of them.
Compulsion, okay.
So I'll have them move towards the mud.
Towards the mud this way?
Yeah.
Okay, you got it. But because it's pulling you, it only moves half its movement, so it's grabbed you and it's yanking you in that direction. You're trying to be free and scraping you across the ground. And you're right on the edge, of this mud section of the battlefield.
I thought he would drop you.
All right, finishing your go, that brings us to Imogen.
Okay. I'm gonna visualize in my mind, I'm gonna start to see water. This place is empty from all hydration. I want to visualize it and try to make it appear out of thin air, and I'm going to try to bring water into existence all around him. And I'm going to cast Watery Sphere.
You watch as it appears, the creature just kind of pushes its way out of the way with a sudden flash of shadow. Dodges it, and it like this. If you're familiar with Rover in The Prisoner, it's kind of like that, but made of water. Just. Alrighty. Finishing your go, the horned entity across the way that's still standing there after dodging this sphere that's kind of floating there, kind of glances over in the direction of where you are, Imogen, and over in that general vicinity, kind of taking in the other players in the field, and then sinks into the ground.
When they do that?
No.
Fuck.
And then
I don't like it.
even this close, you can't make out any of the facial features. It's almost like the face is in perpetual shadow. You can just see the burning eyes and the horns that curl upward. As it stands there, you also get a better look of its torso. The center of its chest appears to be open, like ribs are exposed and kind of curled in. There's a little opening there. And on the inside, you swear you can see like some sort of ethereal humanoid shape that's like holding the ribs and screaming silently out in your direction.
That's fucked.
It kind of raises its hands a bit and moves them back behind it. And then as it spins them around like that, all of you feel like the wind is pulled from your lungs within the area around it. Your skin goes cold and your vision begins to go to black as it creates a Soul Rend vortex around it. 38 points necrotic damage.
Whoa! How many?
38 points necrotic damage. FCG, 38 points necrotic damage.
Uh-oh.
Burn, 19 points necrotic damage. And Orm,
Okay.
23, you take 19 points necrotic damage.
Okay, I'm going to start to kind of match the surroundings and start to go just a little monochromatic myself as the rocks start to shiver around me. And I'm going to run full speed, and I'm going to take a big flying swing straight up into the head.
So you watch as Ashton runs, all the nearby rocks and stone and shale all seem to gather and follow behind by about 3 feet. Cool. Like he's carving a wave through water, but it's all the nearby rocks and stone kind of breaking in his wake.
And I'm also, just because I can, I'm going to pump a little, I'm going to use the ring to throw 1d8 fire damage into all that.
The burst of flame impacts as you knock it on the ground and slam it. The flames lick off of it, not having quite the same singeing impact on a fiendish entity, but nevertheless, it falls onto its back. And there you see as it hits the ground, the shadow seems to almost spill from its body, and before it slips back into its torso, and it lays on the ground and kind of like, all right, Orm, you're up with Chetney on deck.
I look back and forth. I think what I'm gonna do is actually bolt towards Chet. Okay. And as I get near the edge towards that mud, I leap straight over Chetney's head, and I'm gonna try to slash at the thing's arm holding him.
Okay.
And do a disarming attack as I go.
Okay. So you carve into the arm, slice downward, and hit its arm and cuts Chetney free. You're no longer grappled.
Yay! I'm gonna drop on the ground. I'm gonna say, fuck this. And I rip my chest open like Superman, and I'm gonna and do a hybrid transformation, go full wolf, baby! And I'll take my claws and I'll swipe chevrons into my upper arms. And you'll see ice, serrated ice come stretching out from my already sharp fingernails. And I will break in a run towards the downed feller, and I will make my first of 3.
So both strikes, carving on the ground. As you strike with each one, you see there's a flash of blue, dark arcane energy, and the ice crystals kind of like streak across where the wound is hit. The shadows kind of spill off of it, and a bit of like heat seems to burst forth, and it just kind of takes it. Alrighty, Chetney's down. Fern, you're up.
All right, so I am going to rub my fingers together, and I am going to cast Aura of Life.
Ooh.
And you'll just see little tendrils of green just kind of floating all around. I'm just gonna like peek around, Chet at the creature on the ground.
Yeah.
Just kind of staying there, and in Infernal,
Oh.
I'm gonna say,
Oh.
stab it.
I'm going to look at him, and you see this black void start to expand, and it looks like it's starting to peel away Laudna's flesh, exposing her ribcage underneath her skin, and her ribcage starts to expand, and from this like deep depth of black ooze and purple ichor swirling in there, you just see the front of a wolf's head start to push its way out, and it starts to claw its way out. It's like undead, mangy, half skeletal wolf, then just leaps forth out of her chest. And I go, join your kin, and I sick him right next towards Chetney.
It just digs in and starts like tearing chunks of the middle of its purplish torso free. And you watch as from the swampy reaches of the nearby spaces, these other kind of spectral, stretched humanoid figures kind of emerge.
What?
Spectral?
These thin wraith-like humanoid figures kind of fill up. You can see their kind of wild, dark hair and these long, spindly fingers. And where the fingers would be, there's like on each hand 12 long tentacles that just kind of reach out and writhe.
Like that. No, those will go inside of us.
These terrible grins that peel across the face like a jack-o'-lantern, and they just kind of like begin to stretch outward. One kind of, you haven't even noticed it arrive. You like focus after bludgeoning the demonic entity over there, back up, and suddenly feel this like sensation of cold tickling on your shoulder as you turn around and see this thing.
I feel this thing hit me, and I have this moment of weird clarity, and I turn around, I grab its tentacle, a portal opens up in front of me, and I pull it straight through, and it goes 30 feet in that direction.
Oh!
You're like, nope. SCG, you're up at Imogen on deck.
I'll use a bonus action then to cast spiritual weapon.
Form of.
He's an Ashari, so probably loves nature. So I'll make it a chainsaw. A medieval chainsaw. Just a saw.
I'll use
Just a saw.
We'll use that for there, sure.
Still dark.
The hacksaw's like, tries to like grab at it and push it off. Imogen, you're up.
All right. I'm gonna take my watery sphere and move it 30 feet, slam it into that corporeal figure. Does it work?
Yeah,
Does it get trapped in
it is
there?
restrained in there. Now you watch as the sphere of water like rolls over it and it's inside like trying to push through. Does that finish your turn?
Yes.
All right. Well, it goes into his turn, which he then uses to slam his hands on the ground, and his body falls into the shadow.
Again.
No opportunity
appears.
attacks, right?
Nope.
Oh no.
As you're all standing there, Fern, you see this like shadow grow over you.
Where'd he go?
He's right behind me, isn't he?
So it's going to go ahead and attack you twice, Fern. So the first strike against you, Fern, 10 points of slashing damage,
My dress!
plus 25 points of necrotic damage, which is reduced to half because of your aura.
Great.
It's only
Okay.
13. Now the crit. 13 points of slashing damage,
Okay.
and 42 points of necrotic damage.
I'll take half.
Okay, so that's
Do
10.
it,
So you
because
take
then-
11, you take 10. You maintain concentration on that.
Okay.
That would have
And then
been.
since it did recharge, it's going to use its Soul Rend a second time.
Around. 19.
19, you take 13 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
Reduced to half because of her radius. That same thing? You take six
six
points of
damage.
necrotic damage because you're within the radius. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
You said 13?
13 points of necrotic damage to you.
6 points.
You're
That's
in
fine.
6 points?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're at real down.
And Ashton,
I rolled 13, so I take 13.
you do. And what was your Constitution saving throw?
19.
19? Yeah, you're maintaining it.
Okay.
Whoa!
Wow, that was
need
a
healing.
barrage of shock.
Who has
That
this?
was crazy.
Okay.
I'm gonna just switch it up entirely and run, and just do a little skip over Mister. Fall into a tumble, roll under Fern's legs, and then shove my shield up into the a-hole's face and say, "You're a little close, Fern!" And I push her back, and I will attack.
Okay, so you carve through, you see like part of the ribcage opens up on the side, and you see the spirit hand of whatever's inside kind of almost trying to reach out towards you, like this horrible sucking sound. All right, Chetney, you're up.
I'm going to turn, and I am going to run like I'm running right at Orm's back. And at the last second, I'm going to leap up to the right, and I'm going to jump off of the tree trunk over Orm and try and grab this dude, and I'm going to try and grapple him, just full bear hug, claws in, like
You got it.
dead in his chest.
So you leap up, and on top of it, you jam your like icy claws into it. As you strike through, it's resisting the ice as it carves and breaks. All right, Fern, you're up. A lot on deck.
I'm gonna turn around. And I am going to cast daylight into that.
Oh, kissing daylight into its chest.
Yes.
So with that,
Ashley Johnson.
I know.
a bright blast of extremely eye-catching daylight just radiates from the center of the chest of this entity. As it hits, you suddenly begin to see where all the shadow is in this creature. Most of it's just vacant space. And you now see it's almost like a skeletal figure that uses the shadow to fill out most of its form. And as it hits, its eyes go wide and it shrieks. And it looks like it's trying to scratch the sunlight out of its chest, and it's unable to do so. This whole area is now a bright beacon, and you see all the other spectral shadow entities kind of like shriek from the side of it and like crawling on the ground, trying to pull their way away from it.
I'm gonna send Pate into the watery sphere with the guy. He's gonna go swimming.
Yep.
And then I'm going. I want to twin a shocking grasp, one with me grabbing the guy right in front of me, and one through Pate.
You watch as the watery sphere suddenly lights up, and you see just this burst of electrical energy from inside. You see the outer shape of a winged shadow on the inside as the other larger shadow just scatters. And the water just gets a little murkier. At the top of the round, it's now these two guys' turn. As it pulls out of the muck, rushes up with an unnatural fury and rage, and just one strike just goes wide against Fern. You like duck out of the way, and then it wildly backhands with the sword, and it catches you like right in the chest, and the blade sinks a few inches in, and you watch Fern's eyes go wide before she hits the ground unconscious.
Mass cure wounds.
Great, everyone else gets
16.
16, everyone heals. You're now back to consciousness. Imogen, you're up.
Okay. I'm gonna hit him with a 4th level witch bolt from behind.
Like arcs around
That's the coil.
up the horns, and as the electricity is carving around, it's going. The lightning all gathers into the daylight orb that still resides in its chest, and it seems to try and capture and hold it inward. And for a moment, it gets quiet. Its eyes go wide, and just detonates. Its shadow scattered into 100 pieces before dissipating, splattering against the nearby tree, and then sizzling off like smoke.